Hey guys, Happy New Year. It's been a little time since we last sat down together. I took a bit of a break between the Vlogmas madness and now, and it was a really nice break, but I am happy to be jumping back in to hopefully regular content. I always aim for 2 videos a week. That's kind of my comfortable zone. So we'll see how that goes. I still feel like we only just got home from Utah a couple of days ago, and I feel like I'm still playing catch up. I'm still taking down Christmas decorations. I've just been doing a little bit each day. And you know, we're jumping into Charlotte's birthday party, and then Donnie's first birthday party is in a few weeks too, and you know, getting all my ducks in a row. But anyway, I'm back now, and today I'm going to be sharing one of my all-time favorite videos that I do traditionally once a year, and it's my New Year's goals and reflections, or reflections and goals, because I usually reflect first and then talk to you about kind of my hopes and dreams for the new year. So, as per tradition, I watched my video from last year just now. I just finished watching it. I don't generally rewatch my videos. I get asked this kind of a lot, like, do I ever watch my videos? No, I do not really. I don't actually. Very rarely do I. Sometimes I'll reference back to something if I need to for some particular reason, but that's very rare as well. This is really the only video that I consistently watch back, and I only watch it back once, is my New Year's video from the previous year. Because I like to see where I was at the beginning of last year before I jump in and talk to you about this year. I don't know, it just kind of helps me frame my conversation, and also I think it's a nice reflection. It's something that I'm happy that I document in this way, because I do enjoy. Maybe one day I'll want to go back and watch all my videos when I'm like 85. I don't know, maybe I won't, but this is the one video that I do look forward to seeing again. And last year, this time, I was super pregnant. I was just a month away from having my son. I was super ill. I had sinusitis, is that the word? For the first time in my life, and it just like knocked me out. But I was just so full of just excitement, I think, for the changes that were coming. A little nervous, you know, as anybody on the cusp of having a baby will be. I think it's just very natural, but maybe not everybody, but I'm sure some of you can relate. But I was just so excited, and I am coming at you a year later. I just feel like this year I'm gonna keep saying this year, I mean 2018, this past year, 2018. I feel like 2018 has been the most important year of my life in terms of self-development, growth, learning, change. There's been a lot that's changed over the past year. First and foremost, and probably the biggest thing, is I gave birth to my second child, and we became a family of 4 humans, 1 dog who's right here snuggling behind me. So a family of 5. That my son Donnie will be a year in just a few weeks, and a year old. Can you believe that? And he's the light. He is the light and the joy and the everything. He is just the sweetest thing. I love him so much. He definitely changed me for good. I could say the same thing as about my daughter when she was born. Totally, completely changed my life for the better in ways I could never have anticipated, even in my wildest dreams. And just having Donnie now too is, again, a big shift, huge shift. I want to say for the last 5-10 years, I've always had in my mind that when I was 35, which has been this past year, that was going to be a huge year for me, a big kind of shifting point in my life. And it really was. I feel like I'm not going to articulate this very well, because it's hard to verbalize this shift that I felt in my being at my very core. But I will try. I won't do it justice, but I will try. I talked last year about feeling so grounded, feeling just so much more me. I feel like in the last year, those things have not only continued, but deepened and grown deep roots, deep, deep roots. And I am me. I am me 100%. And it's been an incredible journey. And I am so excited to be me. I know this might sound really lame and kind of cheesy. And I hope you understand that I'm not trying to be cheesy. It's hard, like I said, it's hard to verbalize this, but I spent all of my adult life feeling like I had to be somebody else. Like I couldn't be whoever I really was. So much to the point that I forgot who I really was. I think you know intrinsically as a young child, maybe not everybody. I felt like I knew as a young child who I was. And then, once you hit puberty and your brain goes through all this weird stuff and things kind of shift, and there's just a lot of self-doubt and a lot of, kind of mirroring other people and trying to find your way, right? And there's I felt like I lost myself, quite frankly, for a very long time. And I don't know the science, the actual statistics in science, but I know that the human brain doesn't stop fully developing until close to 30. Is it like your late 20s or something? So your brain is still growing and changing. That's why I believe that you're not really an adult until you're 30. I didn't really feel like an adult till I turned 30. And I was really excited to turn 30 because I felt like, wow, this is when my adult life begins, and in the next 10 years, the next decade, are about finding me. And now that I'm midway through that, it absolutely has been my experience. I am so, at my core, so joyful, so filled with joy that I am me. I can't even tell you. And hand in hand with this, I used to struggle so much with social anxiety, just I had generalized anxiety disorder. I was diagnosed with that in my mid-20s. I don't feel like I have that anymore. Is that possible? I mean, I have been in a consistent therapy practice for well over 5 years now. It's got to be like 6 or 7. I don't actually remember when I started. I feel like it was my late 20s. And it's something I will continue to do even though I don't struggle with anxiety, not even remotely close to how I used to. I just find it so important to have that connection and that sort of external perspective that I can rely on a regular basis. I haven't had time to go to therapy. I need to maybe look for a babysitter this year. That might be one of my goals. I don't know. So once a week I could, have a 2-hour sitter so I could go to my therapy and then come back. And, it'd be nice to go. I've just been doing phone sessions, but I've been keeping up with that, which has been good. But anyway, I don't remember where I got derailed. I'm off track. Where was I? Oh, there's geese outside. No, I'm totally... Anyway, I don't want to go on and on and on about this because you guys know I will. I have a tendency to do that. Let's just say I feel really good. I feel really... I'm like growing in confidence about myself. And that was a huge goal of mine that maybe I didn't emphasize so much in that video from last year. I'll link that video if you guys want to see it. I'll throw it up in a card to see kind of then and now. Yeah, lots of very positive changes. Becoming a mom of 2, I feel like our family is complete. I get asked all the time, we're gonna have more children. The answer is no. Really don't plan on it. Don't worry, I'm taking pains to make sure it's not happening. I can't tell you how many people are like, well, you probably will get pregnant again even if you don't want to. I'm like, well, thanks, that's helpful, but no, don't worry. I think I can take care of myself and figure that out. Yes, anyway, 2 kids is our sweet spot, both for me and Dawn, and we have a boy and a girl, and it's just perfect. you know, there was a lot of challenges that came with having a newborn again and then having a toddler as well. Just naturally, I did not sleep a lot for the first 9 months. I was quite sleep deprived, and I will talk about that in my goals a little bit. I learned a lot about how important rest is for me. I am definitely a go, go, go kind of person. I don't like resting. I don't like not completing things. I always am very ambitious in projects and things like that, and to my detriment, I think, and especially in this past year has taught me that I need some sleep and I need some downtime. So there was some difficulty navigating that. Donnie was not a good sleeper until I sleep trained him in 9 months, and now he's an amazing sleeper. I know I'm gonna say that and I'm gonna regret it, knock on wood, but he's been much better. I went plant-based. That's kind of a big deal. I talked last year about one of the goals from my previous year that I didn't hit upon was incorporating more healthy habits. Well, I knew with a newborn and a toddler, I wasn't gonna have a lot of time and space in my kind of daily routine for like really in-depth structured exercise and stuff like that. So I just let myself go with that, and I just followed myself. I did a little bit of Pilates kind of last spring, and then I basically didn't exercise. I realized for about 18 months between when I got pregnant with Donnie and I wasn't feeling well, and between when he turned 9 months old, I basically didn't exercise like practically at all. I'm active in terms of just like moving around in my daily efforts, but nothing like, structured. So I started back up with regular workouts at the 9-month mark, so this fall, and that has been awesome for me. And it's definitely a journey that I'm taking slowly because I have suffered injury in the past from jumping into fasted things. So I'm really working on that, and I'm already dealing with existing injuries that I have to be mindful of. So that's been awesome. I feel like I've done a lot of work, especially in the last 3 months, of kind of finding my groove with healthy eating, mindful eating, intuitive eating, and then also all of those things, healthy, mindful, and intuitive movement. And that's sort of what I'm looking for in the future. And I'm gonna talk more about that in the goals as well. And then in the past year, in terms of just self-development, I kind of really already touched on that, was just feeling a lot more me, but actual actions I've been taking in addition to, therapy and being a mom and all of the things that help in those ways. Keeping up with my memory keeping, which is a huge passion of mine, which was one of my big goals, and I've kept up with it. I took quite a bit of time off when Donnie was a newborn, and I didn't even touch my one little word project for like 5 months, but then I jumped back into it, and I'm all caught up with that, and working on my project life, and all my memory keeping projects really help me stay connected to myself. They feed my soul in a very nourishing, creative way. So that's something I like to keep up with, and also keeping up with content. Yes, I did have to cut back a bit again, just during a busy season when I wasn't sleeping a lot, but I still tried to stay up to date with you guys and stay connected. Making my content is a huge creative outlet for me, and it's something, there's a lot of geese outside, sorry. It's something that's really important to me in terms of my happiness and my me-ness. And I felt like I really stayed true to that, and I stayed connected with that, and it's something I talk about that in the goals too. So all in all, and also, my efforts in, kind of with family was another big category of mine, and staying connected with family and trying to be more inclusive and available and just open, and I feel like I made progress with that as well. And in turn, it has given me the gift of more, feeling more connected. So, in short, I feel like I nailed 2018. I know it was a really difficult year for many of us for different reasons, globally, domestically, politically, socially, economically. There's a lot going on in the world, and I don't want to diminish that. I want to honor that, and I know it has been a challenging year for many. I don't know why. I'm sure a lot of it's connected to that, you know, like the external situations as well. But I know internally as well, it was a difficult year for many. And I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to take anything away from that. But for me, it was a pivotal, positive year of growth. And I rocked it. I'm gonna honor myself and say I rocked it. I feel like I rocked it. So now, looking forward to 2019. Once again, I did my kind of like traditional bullet journal flow chart. I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to see this because it's, there we go. You guys can pause this if you want to look at it a little bit more in depth. It won't make too much sense to you until I describe it a little bit more. But I do this kind of flow chart kind of style thing every year. And what I do, how I do this is I sit down and I look at my last flow chart and I kind of reflected on that, and then I wrote down my goals for this year. So this year I have, again, 3 main kind of categories, I would say, overarching aspirations. And interestingly enough, they're my 3 words of the year from the past 3 years, in the past 2 years, and then the current year. So create was my word of the year from 2017. Connect, no. Believe was 2018's word, and connect is my word for 2019. Now, if you're not familiar with one little word, which if you watched any of my videos already, I don't know how because I talked about it ad nauseum, but I'll put a link below. You can check it out. It's a self-reflection kind of memory keeping-ish project. It's a year-long project. It's a course I take that I pay for, an Allie Edwards course. I've talked about her a lot. She's great. She's my memory keeping guru. All that will be linked below. I did a video on my one little word album from last year. I'll throw that up in a card if you want to see it too. Basically, you choose a word for the year, and then you carry it with you for the year. And if you choose to do the one little word course, then there's monthly prompts. I think it's like a $30 course. There's monthly prompts that help you reconnect with your word. So like I said, my word for this year is connect, which just came very naturally to me because it's a word that popped up a lot in my work with one little word over the past, in 2017 and 2018. So it's really no surprise to me that that's the word that I landed on. But anyway, those are my 3 kind of overarching goals. So I'm just gonna kind of go through them with you in my book here and, you know, expand on them a little bit. So in big, bold letters, I have create. And then I have 5 little subtopics. So I have one little word, already talked about. Project life, already talked about, kind of. That's my memory keeping, annual memory keeping projects, weekly scrapbooking. It's very simple, pocket style scrapbooking. You just pop in some pictures, pop in some cards, do a little journaling. I shelved that with December and doing December daily, and which is another memory keeping project that is super important to me that I love. And then also Vlogmas. So I hope to pick back up with that. I still have to wrap up December daily because I didn't quite finish it when we went to Utah. I was a little behind. So I have like 5 more days of December daily to catch up with. But once that's all caught up, I'm gonna go back to Project Life. Content, already talked about how important that is to me. That's what I mean, like making this sort of video for you guys. I'm interested to see how that continues to unfold. My content has shifted, I would say, very naturally over the course of the last 8, 9, however many years I've been on YouTube. I can never remember. I think it's 9 now, maybe only 8, I don't know. But I just try to keep it real. So we'll continue on that journey, see how that goes. Healthy habits, I already touched on this a bunch, but I've started, especially in the past 3 months, incorporating a lot more healthy habits, more mindful eating, more intuitive eating, and mindful, intuitive movement. I don't know where my voice is going. Hello. I haven't filmed in a long time. My body's like, why are you talking so much? So I'm gonna settle on that one for just a minute because this is an area that I'm really putting a lot of energy into right now, and it has become my goal. When I was younger, in my 20s, I think I focused a lot on outward appearance and I connected a lot of my self-worth to how I felt I looked. Not even how I really looked, but how I felt I looked, which, let's be honest, I never felt good enough about. I just didn't. I never felt good enough. And as I've matured and grown, and like I've talked about, just felt a lot more me in the past year, I'm realizing more and more that what I really need to focus that energy on now is accepting myself as is, regardless of what that is, and feeling good about myself as is. So my goals in terms of healthy habits and what I eat and how I choose to move my body and take care of myself physically has really shifted. It's been a really fundamental shift in the past year, and it's more about feeling aligned, I would say. It's less about what I think I look like on the outside, and it's more about connecting with how I feel on the inside. What foods make me feel good? And not emotionally good, I mean physically good, not emotional eating, right? What movement makes me feel really good and strong and alive and connected? Not punishing myself physically, like through treacherous exercise just so I feel like I look good enough. It's more about the inside, how I feel. And I'm loving this new way of thinking. Maybe this sounds really like, duh, isn't that how you should be? But that's just not been my way, you know? For my entire adult life, I've basically just kind of hated on my body and really just been very negative, and I totally shifted that around this past year. Going plant-based and being more kind of connected in terms of, I would just say maybe being more mindful about what I eat. And I don't think you have to be plant-based to be mindful about what you eat. I'm just sharing with you my journey and how things have unfolded for me. Making that switch has really changed the way I see feeding myself. And I just feel things a lot more physically. Like I feel when I'm eating well, I feel when I'm taking care of my body, and I definitely feel when I'm not eating well, I'm not taking care of my body. Just because you're plant-based doesn't mean that you eat 100% healthy. I was definitely like a junk food vegan or whatever they call it. I don't identify myself as vegan because there's a lot more that goes into that, and I don't really want to open that can of worms right now. But I basically eat 100% vegan. Friendly, to be honest. At any rate, my body is running more efficiently, more effectively, cleaner, and I just feel things a lot more. And I also think that I was pretty lactose intolerant and had no idea, or was just in total denial about it, which is probably more likely. I've been off dairy for almost a whole year. I went off dairy when Donnie was only about a month old, because he just reacted really, he's breastfed, so he reacted really negatively to it. And even now I think he might be a little lactose intolerant because he can't eat like pure cheese or anything like that without like throwing it up. So that's something I need to observe and kind of journey with him through. Anyway. Oh, it's hard to stay on target. I feel good. I feel good. I feel more connected. I feel like I'm finally nourishing myself better, and I'm still paving this path, right? This is a journey that I'm still kind of working on, and it's helping me learn a lot more about what makes me feel good, both physically and emotionally. Same with movement. I've been, for me right now, I like to move my body with intention 5 days a week. That might seem like a lot to some people. That might not seem like a lot to others. I only do, about a 45 minute workout. Again, that might seem like a lot to some people. That might not seem like enough, but that is my sweet spot right now. And really what's important to me about this is approaching it in a very gentle way, taking care of my body, not doing punishing things that I'm not ready for. I've really been amping up very slowly. Like I said, I took basically 18 months off of exercise, and if I'm being completely honest, I really haven't exercised consistently since I was pregnant with my first. So it's been almost 4 years since I've really you know, I mean, when you're pregnant and then have a baby and then you're between babies and you're pregnant again, there's a lot that happens to your body. And I chose to not have a regular exercise regimen. In retrospect, I wish I had kept up with a little, like a 20-minute something most days of the week, because I think that just would have helped me and my body on my journey, but I didn't. So, oh well, I'm gonna let that go. I'm not gonna regret. I'm not gonna like hang on to regret, because it's in the past. What's done is done. But my body, you know, I've more so than ever before, and maybe for the first time ever, I am conscious of how I need to be mindful that my body is out of shape and needs to be eased into things, and I'm actually doing that work. I'm like easing myself into things, and it feels really good. And only recently have I started to been able to amp it up a bit. I've also reincorporated a more daily yoga practice. I'm doing the 30-day yoga practice, the Dedicate with Yoga with Adrienne, which I'm loving. I'm like a week in and I'm just loving it. So there's just a lot of that coming back into my life right now, and in just a much more positively framed way, and I feel like in a healthier frame of mind. So that's awesome. Healthy habits, keep creating them, continue on with them. And then last, create self-care. Again, this is another can of worms I don't really want to go open right now, but self-care, you know, some people think like people are too focused on self-care right now, or you're not focused on it enough, or it's too big of a thing, or you have to take care of yourself. Like, end game. You have to take care of yourself. If you don't take care of yourself, you cannot take care of others well. You just can't. I've done that. I've done the thing where I shelve taking care of myself to try to take care of my others, to put, you know, prioritize the other people in my life that I have to take care of, which I'm glad and so grateful to take care of these tiny humans, and then, you know, the people in my more extended circle. But at the end of the day, and the end of my 35 years, I've realized that I don't do that very well when I'm not taking care of myself on a fundamental level. So for me, taking care of myself means healthy habits, eating well, mindful movement, memory keeping up with my content, all the things I just shared with you. But it also means little things that I do for myself a week. I have a bath ritual that I try to implement twice a week. Sundays and Wednesday nights, I take a bath after I put the kids to bed, and I just let myself do whatever I want. If I want to watch YouTube, I watch YouTube. If I want to read a book, I read a book. If I want to just do nothing, I do nothing for like almost an hour. And that is a wonderful way to reconnect with myself. Keeping my home tidy, not obsessively neat and organized, but tidy. That is another way I take care of myself, because I do not function well in mess. All those other things I said, well, kind of reconnecting with yoga, journaling, keeping up with the daily journal practice, which I'm hoping to expand upon a little bit this year. I have some ideas for that. These are all ways I take care of myself. And also, letting myself sleep. This is something that is a big goal of mine that I did not do well in 2018. And I realized through that experience of basically not sleeping for most of the year very well at all, or very little, I should say, I realized that I get cranky. I get cranky when I'm tired, and I am not my best self. And I'm not the best. I don't make my best choices, and I'm not practicing loving kindness as much as I want to. Of course, I'm always trying to do all those things, be my best self, practice loving kindness, be open, gentle, loving, all those things. I don't do those as well when I am tired. So this is something that's a big goal of mine for this year, is to sleep. Sleep, minimum. Sleep 7 hours a night. 7 hours is kind of my baseline. I can get by on 5 or 6, but if I do that for more than a week, I am cranky. So 7 hours a night, I gotta do it. And also, when I feel like I'm getting too overwhelmed, to let myself take some of those little moments, you know, as moms with little kids, you know, when nap time comes around, I don't know about you, but I'm running around. I'm doing laundry, I'm doing dishes, I'm making content, I'm, tidying up. It's like 1,000 things. Some days I just park myself on the couch and read something or watch something for 10, 15, 20 minutes. And then I get up and I feel better and I can go on along and do other things. I would not have been so kind to myself of giving myself those breaks before 35. I was not kind to myself in that way. And this past year, and just, all the things that have come with it, I have been much more gentle with myself and kinder with myself. So all those things kind of add up, I think, to self-care. And they help me take care of the people I love better. This is going to be a super long video. Okay. Next, connect. My word of the year for 2019. I have 4 big overarching principles. Family, friends, new, and self. So this is all to do with connecting, right? So for family, I have stay present. Something I always constantly strive for. And again, just feeling more me, I feel like I'm much more able to be present. I'm not worrying about the future or worrying about the past, which also helps a lot with anxiety. I would say that's one of my bigger tips. Maybe I should do a video about anxiety sometime. I don't know if it would be taken well or not. I'm no expert. I can just share with you my experience and how I've kind of, I would say, really healed myself. Anyway, staying present, especially in my immediate family with my children and my spouse, staying present, being here. There's so many distractions. There's so many distractions these days with social media and your phone and the bloopy bloop on TV and everything going on at once. To me, it's super important to stay present. Really listen, really observe, really be there. And that builds relationships so quietly, but so powerfully. I don't think, in my experience, nothing builds a relationship more than being present, being really, really there with somebody else. Be open. If there's anything that going plant-based has taught me, is to be really, really, really open. And I've always considered myself an open and accepting person. That's one of the things I would kind of pride myself on, I would say, and I have for my entire life, is just being very accepting and open. Choosing to do something like going plant-based that isn't mainstream and kind of puts me in a bit of a box situation sometimes and makes me stand out in ways that I don't always feel comfortable standing out in, and kind of dealing with, not a lot. I would say I've had a very easeful transition into plant-based in terms of external situations, but of course there's some adversity because I'm going against the grain. I'm in a family that is very not plant-based, and there's nothing wrong with that. Again, being open and accepting, I don't find anything wrong with that, and I don't judge, because I was that person a year ago, like, who am I to judge somebody else? Like, I choose what I do for me and me alone. But being in the position where I could easily get defensive when certain things happen or people say certain things that maybe they don't mean outwardly, but on some subconscious level, there's a little bit of a push and pull. I think I've become a lot more open and accepting because of that. It's been character building in a good way, in a positive way. There's been some challenge to it, of course. Nothing is character building without a challenge, I feel like. I don't know if that's hyperbole or not, but I really feel that very strongly. Yeah, so continue to be open. And then moments I've written down, and this ties into being open and staying present, is being available to witness the beautiful magic moments, both big and small. Always something I talk about, super important. To me, it's the little tiny moments of magic that feed my cup of joy. They fill my cup of joy. and my cup of joy overfloweth. If you can't tell, I feel really happy. I really do. Okay, under the friends category, I have a reach out. So that means staying connected, right? Reaching out. I tend to wait for people to reach out to me, and it's something that I need to work on, is reaching out more myself. Ease, I've written. So to me, this means not getting so anxious, clenched, whatever, about making connections. Reaching out when I feel like it, instead of being like, no, I should wait for them to talk to me. No, you do it. And if they don't get back to you, whatever, it's okay. You made the effort, and that's what's important to you. And so they know that you're there and want to stay connected. And now, whatever they do is whatever they do. So having a sense of ease about these connections. And again, kind of hand in hand with those previous two, no fear. And this is something that I have to continue to work on, but I've made great progress in the past year, I would say, is being less afraid of making those connections. Under the new category, I have written, jump in. Again, just try, just go for it. Just, if you fail 100 times, but you succeed once, it's worth it. Be welcoming, again, kind of being open, accepting, non-judgmental, and learning from these experiences, learning from my failures. I guess I don't even want to call them that because that seems so negative, but say I jump in and I try to make a new connection and it doesn't pan out, which it doesn't most of the time, I will be honest. Instead of feeling down about that, learning from it, learning how I made that jump, I took that jump, and framing it in a really positive way. So having some growth from that. And then under the self category, practice loving kindness. I work so hard on practicing loving kindness with everybody else. And I have really, at 35 in the past year, been working on doing that more with me in a very intentional way. I do daily affirmations now. I know people showed some interest in hearing me talk more about that, so maybe I will do kind of like I do a nighttime routine, kind of stretchy thing where I do my affirmations. Maybe we'll talk about that. So continue on with that. The affirmations have helped a lot. And I know it kind of sounds a little bit like woo-woo, whatever, but it actually really has helped. Self-growth, so continue growing, continue being mindful of growth and wanting growth and encouraging growth. And then reflecting, journaling, memory keeping. These are all ways that I reflect in my one little word project, of course. And then believe, last category here. I have spirituality, self-esteem, magic, love, and kindness. I don't know what I just did with my hands there. Right, spirituality, faith, to me those are interchangeable. I talked a little bit more about faith last year's video. I want to continue on this journey. It's a lifelong journey, walking with God. So continuing to observe that, how it ebbs and flows. I was in a huge ebb when I came to this video last year, this topic. And then since then I was in a huge flow, I would say. And then since then I've been in a bit of an ebb. But watching, just walking with that and being present with it and honoring whatever stage I'm in with that relationship. It's a lifelong relationship. It is a critically important relationship and one that I am very, very conscious of. Believe in terms of self-esteem. I've talked a lot about this already, but just continuing on my self-esteem journey. Things are on the up and up. I just want to continue my good work with that. Believe in magic. Even through tough times, in terms of, external tough times, internal tough times, there is always magic there. You just have to pause and look for it. So, continuing to do that, believe in love. Love, love, love. Always, always believe in love. And kindness is the right thing. I feel like love and kindness kind of go hand in hand. Yeah, they're different, but kindness is love. Right? And love is kindness. So honoring those things in my life, focusing on them. They're just important aspects of life to me, things that I'm always thinking of and working on. And I think that's about everything. On this other side, I kind of delve into this a little bit more. For me, these are just kind of little notes I take for myself. Go back to the flowchart stuff, but basically told you everything and more than you wanted to know. And now my baby has woken up, so I have to go. But I hope you enjoyed this. I love sharing these sorts of things, and I love watching these kinds of videos too, because I feel like hearing what other people are excited about, learning about, reflecting on, looking towards, inspires me and can help me shape my own perspective. And I hope that in some way this video did something like that for you, or if not, that it was at least somewhat entertaining in some other way. But I will be back with new content now, going forth. Again, I'm trying for twice a week videos, but if I only get one up a week for the next couple of weeks, please bear with me. I'm still kind of easing back out of the holidays and into life without Christmas. My 3-year-old, she's, no, oh my gosh, keeps saying, like, Christmas is over? She keeps looking at me and going, Christmas is over? I'm like, well, yeah, because she loves, what kid doesn't love Christmas, but all the magic stuff about all the decorations and the lights and the parties and the fun and the shows and the trips and all the things we did. And I'm like, well, yes, honey, but then I tell her about all the things we have to look forward to this year, and then at the end of the year, how Christmas will return. And that kind of, softens this change for her and for me too. But anyway, happy New Year. I hope this new year finds you in good health and happiness and joy and love abounding. And I hope, dear friends, that you are well. And I will see you real soon. Okay, you guys, take care. Bye.